to Hack the Real Size podcast with Heather, Ashley, and myself, Keira, where we love to interview people from the entertainment industry, find out about their personal journeys with a little bit of cheeky fun. And tonight's guest, we are super excited to have the wonderful Stefanie Martini with us. So Stefanie is a London-based British-born actress, and she is most known for Prime Suspect 1973, making sure I was getting the right date there, and Crooked House. And of course, we know her as the awesome, very resourceful, got to see Uhtred naked Eadith from The Last Kingdom. Nice.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
No, I'm really happy to be here. It's great to finally meet you all properly.
Yay. So the way it works is I will start off with a few icebreaker questions just to get to know you a little bit better. But we've been chatting for like 20 minutes already, so we've got a great insight into your personality, which is amazing. And then Ashley will do the middle part, which is more about how you got started and how you got into the industry. And then Heather will finish it off with a few more role-specific questions and things like that.
Great.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready. I was born ready.
Yes. Okay, so first of all, what song do you listen to, or songs do you listen to when you get ready for a night out?
Oh my God. I have no idea. That is not that.
We go deep.
Probably like Lizzo.
Okay.
At the moment, I think I'm big on a Lizzo thing.
Yeah.
What else do I listen to? Kind of whatever. Sometimes my music taste is quite like it's a bit all over the place. It really depends on what mood I'm in.
Oh, I like the idea of you with a bit of Lizzo. What are you drinking? What's your pre-drinks?
Tequila.
Really? That's not a pre-drink. That's
tequila.
like
No, tequila. Tequila, man. It's so I just drink tequila these days. That's like all I drink. I like tequila, lemon soda, tequila and tonic, margaritas. It's great. You feel great. It's like really clean. It's like quite like a clean alcohols. You don't like my hangovers are like not here.
Yeah.
And it's like a happy alcohol. Do you know what I mean? It's not like gin where everyone ends up crying, or rum where you're like angry. Not that that's ever happened to me in my life. Or wine where everyone's a bit mental. But like, yeah, it works for me.
That is interesting. I only ever associate tequila with doing like shots near the end of the night when you think that you can handle it, and then you do that. So I can't do that. But you know, end of May, Saturday evening, Kira's gonna be tequila.
I like a tequila and tonic instead of a gin and tonic. Just like try it and see.
No, I hate tonic.
Huh?
I hate tonic.
Okay, try.
I do with lemonade. I have sweet.
Yeah. You're really nodding there, Heather. I feel like you're really.
Tequila is my drink of choice. Like,
is it?
It used to be whiskey.
Oh, that's cool.
I've never been. Well, I used to drink vodka, and it's just it doesn't do me very well. But tequila, I love it. Tequila.
It's a good time.
Just rocks. Just put some salt, maybe a squeeze of lime, and I can drink. I can sip on that for whatever.
But good, not like.
Yeah, like
bad, like grain alcohol, but like good tequila, like clean tequila. Everyone's happy. It's a winner.
Okay, be keeping you guys apart on May then.
No, nothing.
Like in a corner, like look what I have.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I know what I'm bringing. See you there, Ashley.
I love it. I'm just going to bring a bottle of lemonade and I'll just try everything, okay, with my lemonade. Water it down. Yeah. Oh my God. So we've got a great picture of your pre-drinks and your night out. I'm loving it so far. So what sport would you compete in if you were in the Olympics? And you can actually make one up. It doesn't even have to be a sport. What do you think you're so good that you could do it at Olympic level?
Like anything but sport. Like anything that isn't a sport. Like I would say my attitude towards most things is if you give me enough time, I'll be able to figure out how to do it. Apart from anything that has catching or throwing.
Yeah, you did say hand-to-eye coordination was good.
So bad. It's so bad. I was like bottom set PE at school, and I love moving. Like I run, I weightlift, I like do a lot of yoga. Like I've done a box, like love it. But yeah, can't catch. So maybe some of those things. Maybe I'd love to be like an Olympic weightlifter, like properly go there. I don't know if I could. I probably wouldn't. There's no way I'd qualify. But like, how badass would that be?
In
Just
this world, you can do what you want.
I've just squatted like 250 kg. I could do like 60, but sky's the limit.
Next, no, not the next Olympics. We'll give you a little bit more time. Next
Yeah.
one, you're there.
And if you can like give me back my youth as well, so I can just make my knees really springy again.
You just said 31. Shut up, you're young. Okay.
Yeah.
Any of this. I picked my 3-year-old up earlier and hurt my back. Like, just picking her up. I'm so old, it's pathetic. Anyway, which fictional character would you have as an imaginary friend if you could?
Oh, that's really good. My brain went straight away to like Northern Lights, and then went to. Have you read the Northern Lights book? Has anyone been nerdy enough to read the Northern Lights books? There's a witch who's played by Eva Green in the films called Serafina Piccola, who's just like the coolest thing in the world, and I think I'd probably have her because she'd just like turn up, she'd make you look really cool, and then she'd be like, get on my broomstick, we're going to the North Pole, and then off you go.
Can I join? She sounds fun.
Yeah, come along.
Excellent, I love it. What is your favourite breakfast food?
My favourite breakfast food? Eggs. Always eggs.
Eggs. How do you take your eggs? How do you have your eggs in the morning? Is that a
Huh? Is
Isn't
that a
that
song?
song about eggs in the morning? I'm sure it is.
Well, I feel like it is. I'm not
Really?
going to try and sing it.
No,
I'm
not
gonna-
me.
Yeah, poached, scrambled, like my friend
Any
Floss.
which way.
Literally any which way.
Any
So-
which way. Love it.
Run over. Yeah.
If you could be or if you could be a breed of dog, if you were a dog, what breed would you be?
I reckon if I was going to be smart, I'd say like a little fluffy chihuahua, because everyone's really nice to you and they carry you around all the time. But actually, I think I'd probably rather be an Australian shepherd dog, because they're my favourite dog. I think they look really cool. And also then you get to be like outside, you could run around a lot.
Yeah, you don't give me chihuahua vibes. No,
I'm not really chihuahua.
they're like short person syndrome, yappy, and yeah, I always say that I always liken myself to a Labrador puppy because I'm very enthusiastic and probably kind of annoying at like humping your leg and stuff. But I really like food. So I feel I'm a bit of a Labrador puppy that just like bumbles in and knocks everything flying, and everyone's like, oh, it's really nice. Get out.
No, that's gorgeous though. I think Labradors are like hearts of gold, aren't they?
They like food. I think that's the connection. I'd be such a distracted guide dog, and I'd be like, oh, food.
Yeah.
I'm not trained well for that. So we have 2 questions we always like to ask our guests. One of them is, if you could remake any film using just the cast of the Muppets and one human actor, like they tend to have in their films, which film would it be and who would be the human actor?
Remake a film, probably Titanic, no?
Okay, who's playing Jack and Rose?
Can I say me? Can it be me?
Yeah, you can be the human actor.
The Muppets version of the Titanic with Jack and Rose.
Hell yes.
Or Gary Oldman, because
He's a god.
great. Or Tilda Swinton, because she's also a god.
Who would she be in the film?
I think Tilda Swinton would be Jack. And then maybe I would be Rose, or Gary Oldman would be Rose.
Ooh,
I know that's not allowed, but
of course it's allowed.
Well, my question is, if you're Rose, are you going to scoot your ass over so Jack can get on the door? Or are you going to like keep him off? Because that's just horseshit. I'm still pissed about that.
There's enough space. There's 100% enough space. And that's why we're remaking that film.
We are.
Make it
But
correct.
who's Kermit then? Who's Kermit?
Kermit is the captain that goes down with the ship.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
Who would play your fiance, like the jerk fiance?
Well, out of the Muppets.
Yeah, like it has to be
Miss Piggy, though, because she's a dick of a character, isn't she?
Oh, it should
I
be.
haven't watched the
Definitely
Muppets
do
in a
that.
very long time. I can't remember who.
Yeah, not me, no.
Watch the Muppets, or is that a completely? That's Sesame Street. It's a completely different thing. I'm very confused.
You know what? You can cross roll. It's fine. There's no judgment here.
Big Bird in. Get Big Bird in there.
Be good. Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes no. I don't want to watch this film. I want to be in it, and then I never want to see it.
It could be your Wild Wild West. It's fine.
Everyone needs one. Everyone needs one.
Exactly. And then the other one that we always ask people, slightly for purely selfish reasons, because we would need to know who we need to contact if this was to happen. But realistically, how long do you think you'd survive in a zombie apocalypse?
Probably until my contact lens subscription ran out, I would say. So I reckon we've got about 3 months. I think that would be. Right. I think I would do quite well until then. I think
weightlifting, running, as long as you don't have
weightlifting, running. I also think like positive mental attitude. I can remember Mark Finnan, Last Kingdom Finnan, once told somebody else on set that if he was to pick a partner out of the cast to be his partner in the Hunger Games, he said he'd choose me.
Yeah, nice.
And I put it up with him to be like, oh my God, Mark, this is the biggest compliment anyone's ever given me in my life. And he can't remember saying it. But I still am clinging to that. But I think I do okay until I think I would be good, apart from not being able to catch or throw anything, until I couldn't see anymore. And then I'm anyone's. Yeah.
Oh, well, never mind. You were doing really well up until that point.
I think so.
You died a legend. It's fine.
Yeah, I think I'd probably try and get to the West Country. I'd get out of London as soon as I could.
Yeah. Come to Ross-on-Wye because no one knows it exists, even the people that live like 5 minutes down the road.
Why? I drove through Wye Valley with one of my best friends who's a makeup artist.
It is beautiful there.
Not that long ago. Yeah, and went to the Abbey.
Tintern Abbey?
Yeah, it's beautiful around there.
It is lovely, but no one knows Herefordshire exists. They all think you're meaning Hertfordshire. But you don't have to. It's a good thing that you're not going to do the Hunger Games with Mark, because if he doesn't remember saying it, because he would suck in a zombie apocalypse. To his own admission, he would not last very long. So you're okay. You don't want him to.
You know what? I might not last very long. I'm just trying to like.
I think you would. I think you've got it. You can run, you can lift stuff, you're resourceful. Don't worry about the blindness. It's fine.
Yeah.
Have a Keira dog, see an eye dog.
Yeah.
Distracted by food. It's fine.
Yeah. Great.
Okay, I think you're on our team. I think you make the cut.
Do really?
Yeah,
oh, thanks, guys. I'll get straight to Herefordshire. Don't you worry.
It might take me and Ashley a little while to get over there, but eventually we might make it. I don't know.
You will. You will.
You can swim over on that door with Jack and Rose. You'll be fine.
Yeah, there probably won't be any zombies in the ocean.
Apparently they can't swim. I've never seen one where they can swim. So
there's like a cruise ship. We'll come by the Lake England. You guys can get on your little tugboat or door, however you fancy. Bring the tequila.
Bring the tequila.
I think we'll fall overboard drunk.
Yeah.
I like it's a happy death.
Huh?
Happy death. That's all you can ask
for. That's all we can really ask for at that point, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. If I'm going out wasted. So I'm all right with that. So thank you so much for delving into my ridiculous questions. And I will pass you on to the far more organized and mature Ashley.
I always like to start off with where you're from and how you got into acting.
I am from Bristol. So like the West Country. So like 2 hours just like west out of London for anyone who's not from the UK. It's like quite a cool little city, but I'm actually, and so I tell people that's where I'm from, but I'm actually from like lots of tiny little villages where everyone knows each other and there's nothing to do and you can't get anywhere. It's basically where I'm from, but it's beautiful and everyone's very kind, and I had a really great like sort of running around in fields, climbing up hills sort of childhood in that way because of where I was. So that was great. And then getting into acting, I think because of being in the middle of nowhere was like kind of tough. Took me a while. I didn't go to drama school till I was 21. Took me a couple of years to get in. I did a lot of acting at school, but then I also did like a lot of singing at school, and like I just loved an extracurricular activity really. So like, yeah, I had some really good teachers who were really encouraging, and even though I didn't know what drama school was, and I didn't know that you could just be an actor, like I thought you had to do musicals or like be in soaps or something. I sort of didn't know anything about it. I didn't know how you did it. No one in my family is an actor or anything like that. So yeah, I sort of had teachers at different points be like, guide me and tell me that maybe I could do it. And then once I sort of decided on something, then that was it really. And it took me, a couple of goes to get into drama school. And then like since going there, it's all been really lovely actually.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about how you didn't get into drama school the first time?
Yeah, absolutely. I know, I love talking about it because I feel like a lot of the time people just want to talk about the great stuff you have done, but actually as an actor you spend so much time unemployed and you spend so much time like trying to do the thing that you really want to do. Like I left school, did an art foundation because I wanted to do illustration originally. And then it was on my illustration course that my teacher was like, you can do this anytime, but I think you actually want to be an actor, so maybe you should do that. And then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I will. And then, and then I didn't really understand drama school, so I sort of applied to 6 or 7 of them, and you have to pay like, in the UK, you have to pay £50 for every audition. And every audition is sort of like, you have to get to London and then you have to stay the night in London, find somewhere to stay, or travel up there and down in a day. So it's sort of quite expensive when you're like working at a pub like I was, and sort of do these speeches and be more nervous than you've ever been in your life, and then go home and then like wait for a letter. And the first year I auditioned, that was after my foundation, that was like when I was like 20, I just got 5 or 6 straight no's. I didn't get past the first round anywhere. So I sort of did, I spent like 300, 400 quid for like nothing. And then the university fees were tripling that year. And my mum was like, dear God, please study English. Go somewhere and like get a degree, and like, you're smart, you could do whatever you want, just do something else. Like, don't do this ridiculous thing that you're doing. Which I think I totally would have said in her place if I was a mum. I would have said the same thing. But obviously I didn't listen to her. And then I tried again, and I got into like 3 different places. But in that year, I had started doing more theatre in Bristol. I was doing a sort of devising course on outreach. I was working about 4 or 5 different jobs, but that's quite like standard for me. So I was literally zipping. I was so busy, and I feel like if I hadn't have got in again, I would have carried on working in Bristol and like making stuff and like being in stuff for the joy of it. And I was like teaching drama. Do you know what I mean? It didn't feel, I wasn't as like about it. I was a bit looser with it and happier, I think. And a bit more like I'd done it before. I was a year older. I think it's weird in school that we're so like, we're expected to know what to do when we're like 13. Like no one knows what they're going to do when they're 13. And the amount of people that change their careers halfway through their lives, or 2 or 3 times in their lives, it's such a lot of pressure to put on kids, really. So I made so many mistakes and like not got what I wanted, and like not done the thing that I thought I should do, and been disappointed and stuff along the way. But actually I think that's fine. That's kind of what it should be, I think, right? Because then when you are doing it, you're like, God, this is great.
Yeah. Well, I think it's part of our podcast is to like find your individual journey, because I think like Hollywood or, you know, in the theaters and things like that, over in the UK, it's just like you only see the good. Like you only see these people getting parts. They're living this whatever life, and you don't see the individual. I don't like to call it struggles, but the path that takes you to get there is not, oh, you just get an agent. I went to drama school, I got an agent, now I'm an actor. Like that's very small that path is that way. I'm from a really small town too. That's why I like to ask that question, because I wanted to be an actor when I was little, and I was like in the middle of nowhere. And I was telling the girls, I was like, where we cut like wood to get paper is like where I'm from. Like it's in the middle of nowhere. There's just
I love that. Yeah.
everywhere. And I was like, how am I going to be an actor? You know what I mean? How can I do it? Like no one's an actor here. So I just like to hear that, because you never know who's listening. And it's like, I'm from a small town, or nobody in my family was an actor, and here I am. So backtrack a little bit. So you got into acting school. What was your process like after you finished school?
When I finished, oh God, I'm like swinging around. You can't see me swinging around on the chair, like constantly having the time of my life. I'm just nearly knocking everything over. What was my life like after drama school? So I was very lucky. I went to a really, really good drama school. I went to the same one as Eliza, so I was the year below Eliza, which is funny. So I've known her for like 10 years. And I was in my third year and like got an agent who I'm still with now, who I love. And yeah, so I sort of met a really good one, been with a really good one. And I had like quite a mad start where I sort of like did an episode of a series while I was still in my third year, and then I left, and then I had like a lead in a period drama, and then I had a really cool character part in an American TV show, and then I literally was a lead in an ITV drama, and then I did a really good film with Glenn Close and Christina Hendricks, and I literally went like back to back to back to back, did 5 jobs back to back with like less than 2 weeks in between each one. And then I didn't work for like nearly 2 years. Like I did like 2 little 3-week films in that space of 2 years. And I don't know why. And it happened. And then I can remember watching a Last Kingdom advert actually. And so I was friends with Millie Brady before. And I can remember seeing Millie in the advert and being like, God, I just want something like that. I want something that's like stable and good and knows what it is that people love, and like it's like it would be like a really good job. And then literally I got the audition for this job and got this job. And then since then it's been like Last Kingdom, little indie film, Last Kingdom, now I'm on a different TV show, and it's sort of a bit more consistent. But my experience of the industry has been like, you're going to be a star, you're going to be the thing, you're going to be the big thing, to then like nothing, to then like, okay, here we go, we're doing good stuff, and it's like fine and great, and I'm grateful, and my feet are on the ground, and I know what it's like to have everything and also have nothing. If that makes sense.
No, it does. Do you mind talking a little bit about the downtime? We always call it the silence in between.
The silence in between. It was really hard. It was really, really hard, and I dealt with it in a couple of different ways. The first time was I just went out a lot, and I was getting my heart broken a lot, and I was just sort of like in that like really crunchy bit in your like mid to late 20s where things are just quite tough, and you're figuring out who you are. And if you're a hippie, then you'll say it's your Saturn returns. But if you're not, then it's just like a bit like everything's a bit difficult, and you're like becoming who you are. And so I was doing a lot of that. Yeah, and I so my confidence just went like absolutely through the floor, because also as a person I like have a lot of energy, I like doing a lot of things. And I'd been working a million jobs before I got into drama school. Drama school is incredibly intense hours wise, like, and what you do in that time is it requires so much of you emotionally and physically, everything. And then working for a year and a half solidly. So I also like hadn't probably ever properly stopped in my whole life. And then all of a sudden I had all this time, and I did not handle it well. I think I got really depressed, and it was really hard. It was just really hard because also like after you do well, there's an expectation, so you feel like you're letting people down, and every conversation you have with family, you feel like you're letting them down, and you're so aware of your own failures when actually anyone who really cares about you, all they really want is for you to be like happy and okay.
Yeah.
And that's all anyone wanted or cared about, do you know what I mean? But I was just putting so much pressure on myself and seeing everything I did as a failure. And also like I was getting down to the final two for like everything.
Yeah.
For everything, which literally everything, which was great. And is a sign, you know, that you're like doing things well still, but then not getting anything. It's just really hard, but definitely a useful learning curve because it's just part of the job. And I think I've learned that it's really important to have a life outside of your work, and that it doesn't define entirely who you are, and that you, which is hard because I think actors are like, it's my passion and this is my life. When actually, but for me, if it is my life, I can't live like that. I need to have other stuff going on. And also like my friends are just great.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, this was tough and my friends are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I mean, I always like to hear those parts again because you never know who's listening and is like going to a downtime, like, and to look, like you said, I got job to job to job. I was clearly doing something right. I'm clearly a good actor, but sometimes there's just long hauls where there's nothing.
Yeah, and I think the thing with depression or it kind of like the trick is, I can remember someone telling me this, the trick is like the thing that it does is it makes you think it's going to go on forever, and that's your permanent state. The trick is that it's like, well, this is just your life now and nothing is going to change. And the thing is that it does. Everything is temporary. It changes. And like, I think what I know now that is different from before is if I'm in work, I'm like, great, I'm in work, this is great. I'm going to enjoy it because I know it's not going to be here. But then when also I'm not in work, I mean, it's quite hard, obviously, because like you feel how you feel. You can't help feeling how you feel. But I try and tell myself that that's also temporary. Like everything's temporary. If you're having a bad time, like you'll come out of it.
Yeah. Someone once told me that emotions and life have half-lives. So whatever you're feeling has a half life, and it's only going to be for a certain amount of time. And sometimes those times can be a little bit longer. Sometimes they're a little bit shorter, but you just have to focus on, I'm dealing with this half life right now.
Yeah.
And in my head, something clicked and I was like, okay, like that totally makes sense.
Yeah. And I think it's also chasing, like it's not chasing happiness. It's not chasing the highs all the time. It's chasing the contentment. I think what I try to do is rather than be like, I've got to feel like I'm like living all the time, which is what my tendency is. Is more feel like, no, I'm content with this. This is good. Because that's more achievable and more level, and you're more likely to actually be happy, I think.
Yeah. I think I mean, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
Who would you say is one of the most inspirational persons or people in your life?
Ooh. I never know what to say about that, because I don't have like one person where I'm like, God, yeah, if I could just be like them. I think I take a lot from the people around me in how they like react to things. But they're sort of like little things, like I don't know. That I don't have anyone where I'm like, wow, if I could just like be like them. If that makes sense.
No, it does. Yeah. No, I mean,
there wasn't like anyone who I was like, I want to be like that person. I was just like, well, maybe I'll work and maybe I won't, and let's see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's quite hard. But you look at like, in a more obvious way, I think you look at like Kate Blanchett. I think Kate Blanchett is amazing. I would love to be Kate Blanchett. I look at Tilda Swinton. She's amazing. Viola Davis. She's amazing.
Yeah.
I look at the entire cast of Euphoria. I think they're incredible. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much like talent everywhere, acting wise. I can't even like begin to name the amount of people that inspire me when I watch their work.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. What would you say has been your harshest rejection, and how did you handle that?
So
Making you relive all the crap times, aren't we? I'm sorry.
No, I'm gonna get some moments. I'm scared.
No, I love talking about it because I don't think that, exactly what you're saying. I don't think people talk about it enough. Like literally, whenever people are like, "Tell me about all this time that you've worked," I'm like, "No, let me tell you about the time when I didn't work." And then they're like, "That's not what we want from you." So this right now. What was that? What was the question? The question is gone.
What was your harshest rejection, and how did you handle it?
My harshest rejection was, I won't say what series it is, but you know when you nearly get an American series, they make you sign the contract when you do your but when you're doing your final recall.
Mm-hmm.
You know that already. That is mad. That is mad. They do not do that to you in the UK. That is like some sort of mad torture. But there's been like quite a few, 3 or 4 times when I've gotten down to like testing for an American show. And generally speaking, I've been like really okay with not getting them, if that makes any sense. Because I think a lot of the time it's like the idea of it is 6 years, you're moving to this other country, you know how much you'll get paid, and that's lovely. But then it's also like 6 years and you're moving to another country. It's like a lot, like it's quite a lot. But there was one that I really wanted, and I think I was working a minimum wage job at the time because I just bought a flat, which was amazing, but I sort of accidentally bought a flat. I hadn't like planned to. It had just been like a bit of a mad panic, and I then had no money. So then I was working all the time, which was great and fine and having a lovely time, but just quite hard when you're not doing the thing that you want to be doing. And then I think I got to the final 2. And I'd gone like on holiday to Copenhagen with one of my best friends, and my agent had called me and been like, "Don't leave the airport. You need to fly to Hungary." And I was like, "What? Why?" And she was like, "Well, they're going to test you for this thing. They're going to test you." And I was like, "Oh my God, what?" And she was like, "Yeah, they're going to test you for this thing. They're sending over these new scripts. They're going to fly you from there today, and you're going to meet them all tomorrow, and that's going to be your test." And I was like, what? And also because like I don't wear that much makeup or dress particularly fancy most of the time, so she was like, "You need to look like you're like you're going on like a fancy date." And I was like, "Oh God," as in like you need to look nice and like pretty. And I was like, "Okay, I've got no makeup." I had to leave my friend on the first day of our holiday in an airport in Copenhagen, buy a whole new makeup bag, buy some heeled boots and a top in Copenhagen, which is like the most expensive airport in the world, and then fly to Hungary, and then the next day do the test for this thing, meet everyone. We got on really well. It was really lovely. They're really lovely people. And then fly back to meet my friend who'd been like just in this random country on her own for like 2 days. And we only had 2 days left, and I felt awful about it. And then go home, and then just like wait for like 2 weeks to find out whether or not I'd got this job. And then I found out I didn't get it while I was working the minimum wage job. And because you'd signed the contract and you knew how much you get paid, and you knew I knew how different my life would have been from the life I was living at that point. I was just like, it was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot. But that's fine. And then you give yourself like a few days to really like whine about it and cry about it, and then you never had it in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, it's never yours. And if it was yours, you would have got it. So it's fine. But
that is a problem, I think, with the industry as a whole, is carrots are dangled in front of you all the time. You read a script that you maybe have to do self-tape for, and you're like, this sounds so awesome. Or you're at an audition and the people that you're in, you know, maybe screen testing with or something, you're like, oh my God, I'd love to work with them. And it's just always so dangled in front of you, and it's taken away 98% of the time. And that's a real head fuck.
Yeah, it is. It's like doing like 3 job interviews a week. If you're, I mean, that's lucky. That's like amazing to have that many auditions, if you're having that many auditions. But like, yeah, it is mad. It is mad, but also you get used to it quite quickly. And I think it's just making sure that you take care of yourself. Do you know what I mean? I now sort of don't mind if I don't mind unless I'm really close to something, and then I'll be like,
yeah.
And then generally I've found out that like things I've nearly got but didn't get, there's a couple of things where I'm like, oh, I would have loved to have done that and I nearly got it and I didn't get it and that sucks. But generally I'm like, yeah, that went to that person and that's great. And also I know nearly everyone in my casting bracket now because we've been sitting in the same waiting rooms for 7 years. So I'll go for coffees with them. Me and Millie Brady go up for the same stuff constantly.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's almost like I'm like, great, that person got it and they're lovely. So that's good for them. And then I'll get something that maybe some other people, you know, like wanted. And yeah.
You're right where the universe has meant you to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, to change gears ever so slightly, let's talk about a great audition, or hopefully it was great. And let's talk about your audition with The Last Kingdom and how that went.
Oh God. I also am like the worst judge. So like I thought that me and my agent joke about it. I'm my own worst judge of when I've done a good job or not. Like I literally cannot tell. The last like 2 or 3 jobs I've got, I've called my agent being like, that was awful. I've just done the worst job, and then I've got it. So like I clearly can't tell. So I don't actually know. But my audition for The Last Kingdom, I came out and I called my agent. I was like, that was appalling. That was appalling. I'll never get that job. That was so bad. But I think actually maybe it's the feeling of being like a bit unsettled and maybe not doing what you were planning to do, if that makes sense, because someone's pushing you in the right way in the audition room. I mean, I don't know, but I did a film that I really love called Makeup by Claire Oakley, and it's like a really lovely, like low budget queer indie film where I'm playing love interest of Molly Windsor, and I got the script and I was like, well, she's a lesbian from Cornwall and I'm a bisexual from Somerset and I should 100% do this job. Like I need to do this job. And I went in and I did the worst first audition ever because I didn't understand the character properly. So I did her quite like forward and like very glam, which wasn't what they wanted at all, but I didn't know that. So then I sort of called my agent. I was like, I think I just did a terrible job. And then but I was like, but I really wanted, she's like, well, we'll get you back in. We'll get you another first audition, which is like wizardry. I don't know how she does this, but she got me back in and I did another first audition and did the complete opposite and did it like completely pared back and everything was completely like back, and then got the job and had the most like amazing experience working on this film with these like incredible creative people. And yeah, and that was a really nice experience, of sort of being given the chance to try again.
Yeah. Because it doesn't rarely happens, you know. And that's I'm gonna kind of steal one of your questions, Heather, and then I'll pass her off to you. But how did you go from creating that character like the one way until being like, no, I'm gonna change it up and do it this way? How was that like process of the same character but 2 different outcomes?
Well, this is the thing, is like it's so easy to do. That's so easy to do. But this is like, because that's our job. Do you know what I mean? You could do one thing in about 1 million different ways, and if someone says, "Can you do it a bit differently?" then you're like, "Well, yeah, of course I can. That's my job. That's literally my job." But I think yeah, it's quite hard, especially with self-tapes these days when people are sending self-tapes, and it's like if I don't know what someone wants, I'll just be giving my interpretation of what I've read it as, without anyone telling me sort of like, no, actually I sort of was seeing it more in this way, seeing it more in this way. And if I have the opportunity to show them that I can do it that way, I absolutely can. But if you don't have the opportunity for someone to give you that direction and say, actually I want it a bit more like this, and then you're like, well, great, here you go, then you're sort of missing out a bit, I think.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for answering my slightly dark, but I feel like very important questions. And I'm going to pass you over to Heather now.
Well, piggybacking on what you just said with like with self-tapes, you give your interpretation of the character. How do you prepare for those auditions and self-tapes? And how do you, I guess, have the confidence in your choices and not worry so much about what you think they want?
It really varies, because also my own attitude towards what I'm doing changes, and sometimes I'm like, I should make a really bold choice and make a really bold, strong choice, so then people like notice me and remember me. And then sometimes I'm like, no man, just say the words, they don't need you to do that much. And I still don't know which one is right or which one I believe in. Like, I honestly don't have a clue. But I think sometimes you get a sense from the script, but I'm much better in the room than I am on tape. So I'd much rather, also just like, I'm better at acting because you have that like thing, like if you're walking out on stage and you just have to do it well. If you're auditioning in front of a real person that's in front of you, I'll do that. Whereas if I'm in my living room on Zoom with someone, it's just not going to happen. And I'm just there like, well, I'll give it a go. I'll do my best. But yeah.
Yeah. And how do you prepare for your days on set? Like specifically, it doesn't have to be for one show, but just in general, or if you want to talk about a specific show, you know, because The Last Kingdom had a lot of physicality in it.
Yeah, I think The Last Kingdom was, so the first series, so when I did series 4, I did like a lot of like emotional character prep. I do things like I dress up, it's so weird. I dress up like how I feel like she might dress up, and I'd walk around London listening to music that I felt like her. And I made like this is so nerdy, but I made like a picture book of her life, like the house that she had with her family before it was all taken away, the things she did. I like got a room, this is so nerdy. Got a room, carved out a room, and like improvised on my own like moments from her life, and I wrote letters as her, and I like did loads of things, so then I would have a physical, tangible experience of what it felt like to be her. So I'd like tried out her body before I'd done it, if that makes any sense. And then because you don't have time to sort of like play with that stuff on set, and that's sort of my way in, is like physically, if that, I don't know if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, so that's sort of what I did in series 4. And also because I think she's a bit like, she's very different in series 4. She's sort of like further away from who I am as a person. And I think in series 5 she's actually quite close to who I am as a person, if that makes any sense. So I sort of like came back and I was like wanting to do all this prep, and I was like, I don't need to do it because I've already done series 4. So I've like lived her. And like it's fun to think about what she's been up to in the last 10 years. But really by that point she's sort of found her moral compass. She's like a heart, do you know what I mean? She's like a, I think Andy Hay, who's the director on the first book, said to me that she's like the emotional barometer. She's like the sort of truth of the scene, if that makes any sense. A lot of the time she's not taking any bullshit. She's sort of like, she's like seeing things how they are. Feeling
she's
everything.
Got no ulterior motives. Like, no, she's neutral.
She's
Switzerland, isn't she?
She's Switzerland, and she's like, she loves everyone and she wants the best for everyone, but she's also not about to like go out on a limb unnecessarily, or do you know what I mean?
I feel like in season 4 she was very survival like ish, like molded to just survive whatever situation. And then season 5 she was very much standing as her own, and then the situations had to move for how she felt, like, or whatever, the truth of, I think that's a great thing, she was like the truth of the situation, or she pointed that out. So definitely a difference in the 2 different seasons.
Yeah, definitely. It felt very, very different. Like I can remember them saying that she's just gone for 10 years and has been like wandering around learning things. Like she's very comfortable in her own skin. She's like doesn't need anyone. She's really smart. She's very clever. She's you know, not tied down by anyone or anything, and doesn't want to be. And yeah, I think so that felt quite like, I don't know, it felt easier. It felt much easier in season 5, I think, in season 4. Well, season 4 was fun because I got to be all like slinky and everything was dramatic. But like season 5, and like I got to like shout a lot. Whereas in this, I found it hard in a way because it wasn't like she had her own through line. She was just assisting everyone for the whole time. She didn't really have her own thing going on, which was also like quite a fun challenge because it's also like, but how do you find her within that? I can remember being like, but what's she doing? What's she up to? Like, what is she doing? But yeah, it was lovely, and I think I got some really nice stuff in season 5 that was really fun to do. Like all this stuff with, I haven't watched all of it. I've watched 4 episodes today because I was doing this podcast. I haven't watched it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I love that Last Kingdom because I'm doing this podcast.
Yeah, well, I'm the only ones that prep. I love that we're not the only ones that prep when we do a podcast.
No, I was like, come on, you should watch it. I'm just not very good at watching myself. I don't really like doing it. But when I was watching it, I've got into the bit which I was doing with Millie Ethelfled with her diagnosis and stuff. I was like, oh, I got to do such like lovely scenes.
I love that scene.
I don't want to get too early or whatever into talking about this, but I can't wait to hear you guys discuss your relationship, you and Millie's relationship with the episode at the con.
Oh, great.
You know, like we have you guys together, right? I'm not misspeaking.
On a panel, yeah.
And I know that's the question that I have, is just how your 2 relationship grew and changed in seasons 4 and 5.
Yeah, I mean it's lovely because it was what's it called, the Bechdel test, when there's like 2 women talking about something that isn't a man for like longer than a certain amount of time. Like they smashed that. Do you know what I mean? They really, really went in and smashed that. And I think it's so complex. And I sort of had a joke all the way through that I was like, Eadith is Ethelfled's like biggest fan. Like absolutely, like her absolute biggest, like bordering on creepy, like such a fan. Like has a poster of her, would like smell her clothes when she'd, but that obviously wasn't playing any of that in any of the scenes. But
that's Alhelm, isn't it?
Yeah, that's, I mean, everyone just loves her, and can you blame them? Because but yeah, I think it was really, because there was the power dynamic, there's obviously everything about me sleeping with her husband, there's her doing the right thing and kind of getting her respect, but then being like sort of like thrown away and then coming back to help her. And I think Eadith just cares very deeply about her, really respects her, thinks she's amazing. I think, but I'm kind of not joking, like she is kind of Ethelfled's biggest fan. Like she thinks she's incredible.
So we're very excited to have you come join us May 28th and
29th. Should be etched into your brain by now.
Oh, it is. I'm really
sorry. I was talking to Heather. You're like, yes, it's etched into my brain.
No, it is. But I'm excited. It's because I'm excited. I've never done one before.
You've never done one?
Convention.
Yeah, I've never done one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're your first.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm really excited, and I think I also, yeah, like people who love the show are such lovely people. Like the people that like The Last Kingdom are like, oh, you're just good eggs, aren't you? So it'd be lovely to meet people and also like get to see the gang again because I love them.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good reunion.
Hmm?
It's going to be a good reunion.
Yeah, it will be. I mean, we see each other quite a lot anyway.
Mm-hmm.
One's in London. I actually can't remember exactly who's coming. Cav's coming, isn't he?
Yeah, Timothy, Millie, yourself, Christian. But you didn't ever work with Christian, did you?
Never worked with Christian.
No. Magnus. You didn't really have any scenes with Magnus either, though. But we were in the same season, so.
Yeah, we went for dinner together. I think all of us together in series 4. Yeah.
Harry Gilby.
Lovely.
And we know that you got up close and personal with Harry Anton because he always killed you. So
he's so great. I know that was such a long night.
Yeah, we're big Harry Anton fans. He's a dude. That guy.
Isn't he great?
He is great.
Yeah, he's awesome. We interviewed him like back in the fall, like in September, I think, and we were like, oh, he has to him.
Did you fall in love with him a bit? Did you all fancy him a bit?
Oh, he's just like such a good egg. Just
avoided that question. Already avoided it.
Well, no, we were interviewing Mickey Stolt the other day, and did you leave it in the podcast, Ashley, when I said about Harry being cute?
Oh yeah, I did leave that in there because he is like sometimes, I had to like go, look at my husband and be like, that's my husband, like after the interview a little bit. So I'm gonna cut this part out so it doesn't matter. But he's just like a cool part. Like I want to go drink tequila with Harry.
Want to go drink with him?
He'd be great. Yeah,
he'd
be great. He's also he's just very good. He's a very good actor.
Mm-hmm.
Like our scenes were really fun. I again haven't seen it, so I don't know if the scene's still in it or not. But there was a scene where I'm by a horse and he like threatens me.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, that's in there. Yeah, and brilliant. Was genuinely quite scared, but always felt very safe. And with the fighting in the forest, like we were doing that for like 4 or 5 hours, and it was midnight. We ran over, and it was so cold, and I was just being like, if you think about, I was just being strangled on the floor for 5. Not. It wasn't actually hurting, but just like I was telling myself I was being strangled for like 5 hours, and he was looking out for me. Do you know what I mean? It's nice when people are like,
like checking in as they're like strangling you. I feel like it's a really nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's like probably the least you could expect. Do you know what I mean? The bar isn't that high, is it?
It's not. Are you okay?
Come on.
I really like Eliza's character in season 5. I just thought she was funny. Like she brought like just because she was so serious, in the first 4, it was nice to see the different kind of character.
My favorite line was when she's like, with my bare hands, I wasn't wearing any gloves. And I know your character was in the back and you were like,
shut up. What are you doing?
Elswith was on her happy
like mine. Huh?
Elswith was on her happy meds in season 5. She was like rocking that HRT or something. She was.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, I want what she's having. She's like that bit where she's sort of like pretending to stop when she's and like me and Fia like genuinely laughing, like not acting laughing, like actually laughing at her because she's being ridiculous. Yeah, that was really fun working with her. They were a really good double act, I think. Me just being quite like, oh god, what's she doing now, and her just being like really extra all the time. But yeah, the nice thing that is really good for Eliza, I think she's such a transformational, like she's such a character actress. Like she's such a like she can do like all the voices under the sun, all the physicalities. She's really like really something. So I think it was great for her that she had the opportunity to sort of pop a bit of comedy in there, like give them something else.
Right.
Yeah, it made her character do a whole 360, didn't it, from season 1? And I think that's quite nice that the fans were hating her. Like everything was like, it must be death. My husband and I just sit there and watch it, and every now and then we were like, it must be death. because she wanted everyone to die. Every time anyone did anything wrong, especially Uhtred in season 1 and 2, she's like, gotta kill him. It's gotta be death. Gotta be. Nothing in between. Gotta be death. And then she's done a complete 360, and she's all of a sudden like people's favorite characters. It's great.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah.
Sorry, to talk about the con again, just really quickly. So you're coming to our con. Your small group activity is going to be crown making, right?
Yes.
If you're good with that, we can switch to me tasting.
Yeah, I'll just crash Harry Anton's one.
Do it. Many people are.
Magnus said he wants to crash it. So
I feel like this is going to be a convention that's not necessarily norm. It's our first acting convention that we've ever done too. So it's our first, but it's such a small group of people, and pretty much all the actors are like, I'm going to go here and I'm going to do here and I'm going to be here. So I think it's going to be fun. I mean, I want it to be fun, but I think it's going to be a very unique, very fun, intimate, just a good time experience. So
it'll be lovely.
Have a great time.
It's going to be nuts.
It'll be great. It will be great. Also, like, who doesn't love crafts? I love crafts.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have no idea what's going to happen, but I think it will be really fun. And yeah, I can't wait. I think it'll be really lovely. I can't wait.
I'm still trying to figure out how to get the karaoke machine out to Gilby's archery, because he's like, I can do karaoke archery, and we're like, ooh.
Oh my god, what?
There's no rules.
Huh?
You do karaoke?
I mean, I haven't in a very long time.
You said that you sang at drama school. I noted that one, which means
yeah. I mean, I sang at school. I didn't sing very much at drama school, but yeah, I can dust off the pipes. We can make something work. Also, like, isn't the point of karaoke that people are quite bad?
Oh, yeah. What's your favorite karaoke song?
Kira's a singer, so we're not going to allow her to sing.
Kira's not a singer. Kira enjoys singing when there's no one else around. There's two very different things. Very different things.
You're going to be singing. If I'm singing, then you're singing, I think, is the deal.
I don't mind making a tit of myself. It's fine.
Right. Okay,
we're going to do karaoke flower crown.
This sounds absolutely mad. This sounds like we're going to like a festival where there's like a workshop.
It is. It's basically a festival.
Oh, I'm excited.
It's like a Viking festival with panels and stuff. So
I actually like once woke up in my mum's house in a little village, and I think I'd just come back from like a music festival. I was hanging, and then I was a teenager as well at the time, so probably nowhere near as hanging as I would be these days. And then like I sort of looked out, I woke up to the sound of horns, and I kid you not, there was a medieval festival going on in the field behind my house. There were like tents. Everyone had like pointy hats with like flowing bits off them, or like stockings and pantaloons, and there was jousting happening. There was actual, and I was like, what? That people were playing the lute.
How long was I later in the day?
Huh?
You're like, how long did I sleep for? What did I take last night?
I know. I was like, what is going on? And then they were all at the pub later on that night. With their like sort of like doublets and their like big puffy sleeves and their ruffs. There weren't any ruffs, but it was basically that vibe.
That sounds like fun.
It was. I was like, oh.
Is that what you're gonna wear to ours?
Really
into it.
I'll just wear a cape for the whole time because Eadith loves a cape. I'll just be in a cape constantly. I don't have a cape. I actually can't do that for you.
I will get you a cape to make you wear a cape all weekend.
I actually hated my cape.
No surprise.
36 degrees in the summer, and they'd be like, let's put a cape on you. I was like, are you kidding? Are you what? Are you mad? I'm so warm.
Yeah.
Why are you putting a cape on me? And then they like made me do it. I was so angry.
They don't seem practical.
It's fine. Huh?
They don't seem practical. Like for superheroes, why would you wear a cape? Does not seem very practical at all. Someone could just grab you.
Flying, maybe. Flying. Does it help them fly? Or does it?
So it just looks cool out the back.
I think generally with me it's because I'm being sneaked.
Yeah.
That's
very common for your time.
Huh?
It's very common for your character's time.
Oh my gosh, constantly got a cape on. That bit where she's like finding some mushrooms underneath the tree and then stands up and puts her hood up. It just makes me laugh. It just makes me laugh.
Are you like really just burning up inside? You're like, I don't like put the hood on.
Escape. God.
Like that, your face is like whatever, but it's really you just hating putting that cape over your.
Oh,
head.
I could. Yeah, I hated it.
I would've
Unless
been
it's
like,
cold, in which case I was like, yes. Huh?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'd be like, can I just get like the glasses with the mustache and the nose? Can that be like, it's like, please, like, please?
Yes. Works just as well.
Yes, perfect.
Just as
Sorry,
well.
You know,
I
in
got distracted.
You know, in season 4, when you guys are doing a lot of running,
Oh,
is that you having to do that?
yeah.
Like, did anyone have body doubles? Because that seemed like a lot of running to do in season 4.
It was about 3 weeks of just running. And everyone else is wearing trousers apart from me. So I've got about 4 skirts. It was about 28 degrees, 28, 29 degrees. Really hot, and Hungarian summers are really hot.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a bodysuit on, and then I've got that purple dress with 2 skirts, and then I've got like a cloak, like a sort of cloak thing. To be fair, the boys were wearing leather, so I think I actually had it easier. But actually, the wig, it's like wearing a really big, fluffy Russian hat. So there's nowhere for the heat in your head to go. So all my
So hot.
face was wrinkling, and then the lace on the wig was melting and then
Connecting.
reforming like that. So I'd have like, and I can remember Alex was just like, I can't look at you with that. What is that? And I was like, I can't do anything about it, Alex. No, it was so funny. He had a point as well, because it was really there. Like, he definitely had a point. But yeah, we were just running around with children. I remember me and Ruby Hartley would just go and stand in the portaloos because they were air conditioned.
Wow, those are posh portaloos.
Yeah, we'd literally just stand in the portaloos for like.
Oh,
And if anyone tried to find us, we'd just be in there. But yeah, no, it was a lot of running.
yeah.
I would have been like pouring sweat.
Yeah, that's what I worry about with those sort of things. I'm such a sweater. I'd be just like, makeup again. They'd be like, Keira, we've run out of mattifier. Like, we cannot do any more.
Yeah, and also it's like a horrible feeling when you've got sweat on your face, you can't wash your face, and then they put more makeup on your face.
Oh, like the
I'm gonna be a spotty mess. But yeah, it's also like, you know, can't complain. It is hilarious. Like, your job, like I was like, how have I ended up where this is how I make my money? Wearing a wig and like running through the Hungarian countryside for 3 weeks in a dress and a cloak and a cape. And also knitted tights. And then I tried to take them off, and then the costume, I love her so much, but one of the costume girls was just like, no, you can't, they're period. And I was like, they're not.
Can we get some period ankles?
Yeah, I was like, pretty sure people just said like legs back then. She's like, no, you can't take them off.
Also, no one sees your legs.
I know. There's also a bit, you know, in that series where I'm running. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm running and I'm next to Ewan and I nearly fall over. So I'm laughing, but it's while we're being chased by my brother. And they used that shot where I'm like having a laugh. I'm
gonna have to go back and look at it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that tonight.
I'm tiny, and I only noticed it when I was doing ADR. I was like, oh no. But that's in there. I definitely shouldn't have told you guys that. It's fine. It's out there.
You know what? Mickey told us about Tinky Winky. So
what's that?
The Teletubby was one of the Viking guys. The Teletubby was like the big guy, right?
Yeah, so one of the guys who got beheaded by Breda plays Tinky Winky the Teletubby. Yeah.
Did you not know that?
No!
I can't. I'm so bad with technology, but I
not
really
actual Tinky Winky, like not
actual Tinky Winky,
like actual
in the suit.
So I'm like, I want to get a meme or a video, and this is terrible, but this is where my mind goes, of his head getting cut off, but it's Tinky Winky's head rolling.
I mean, that's sick and depraved, but I love it. I'm sorry. I need a moment to process this, I think.
That's what we were like.
When we were interviewing him, we were like, wait, that's his nickname? And he's like, no, he was Tinky Winky, like really the Teletubby, like in the costume of the Teletubby. And we're like, wait.
He gets beheaded? What? Huh?
I mean, I can see why he doesn't tell everyone that, but he should have told everyone that.
Yeah, I guess he told them, and then he gave them like pictures signed because he got one for his daughter. And I was like,
oh, there you go, Mickey, just getting it. Yeah, he had his baby while we were there. That is mad.
Yeah, I was like, so now I can never watch that character as anything but Tinky Winky.
Yeah, so when you get to that episode, you can be like, oh, there goes Tinky Winky's head.
There goes Tinky Winky's head.
There it goes.
We get all the good backstage goss.
I just also love his range. Like, what range? You know what I mean? He's my inspiration. You can ask me that question again.
Who's your inspiration?
Tinky Winky. And the guy who got his head cut off. That guy. That's my inspiration.
Fair enough.
That's what you. So now you have an answer to that question. When anybody asks you, you got to say it with the most serious face, but it's Tinky Winky.
Like completely.
Seen that man act?
Really, really, really. I'm so bad at keeping a straight face. I'm not good at practical jokes or like, you know, when people just let a lie go for ages. I can't do it. Useless.
Oh, that should be one of the games at the con, making her lie to keep a straight face.
Is there any game that you like? We're gonna play different games. Is there like a game that you're really good at that you want to play?
Not a game that I'm really good at. We would play in Budapest. We'd sometimes play like really silly games. We once played Sardines, where did I tell you about this? Did you know about this?
I love Sardines though.
We got all of our, because obviously nearly all of us were staying in this we're in a bubble, staying in this big block of flats. And we all turned all of our lights off in our flats and left the doors open and played scary music and played horror films. And then we all went and played Sardines.
What is Sardines? I don't know what that is.
Sardines is like the opposite of hide and seek. So it's when like one person goes to hide and then everyone goes and looks for them. And then when you find them, then you have to get in the space with them. So I was the first. So James was the first person to hide, and he went in a wardrobe. And
in
then
his house.
In his flat, yeah. It's literally like just a big block of flats. So there were like 4 floors, 3 flats that were open, and it could have been in like anyone's flat. And I went into the wardrobe with it. I found him, got in the wardrobe, and then I think there were like 8 of us in this wardrobe, and then we thought the wardrobe would break, so we moved into the bathroom, and then I think there were like 14 of us in the bathroom.
So you don't tell each other that you found him. It's just like whoever finds. Am I the only person that doesn't know this game?
It's an amazing game. It's really good.
Are we gonna play Sardines at the con?
Now I want to. I
haven't played Sardines at the con. It's so good. It's like really silly. I played it at my friend's like 31st birthday. We went to a house in the countryside the other day and we played Sardines. Like, and then she came back and told her work friends about it, and they were like, "You did what?"
It sounds amazing.
Sorry, you did what? But it's really fun.
So one of the ending questions we like to ask is what you're working on now. If you can talk about it.
No, I'm working on a really cool series called The Gold, which is for BBC, and which is great because I haven't done anything for the BBC before, and I love the BBC, so I'm really excited. And it's, what is it? It's like based, well, it's written about this real gold robbery, like a huge, like the biggest one that's ever happened in the UK, I think, where this like South London guy ended up stealing kind of accidentally like £26 million worth of gold bars in the 80s, and then sort of it was called Brinksmat. There's the Brinksmat robbery, and they ended up sort of sending it back into the market and having to like smelt it down and like turn it into money, sell off the gold, launder that money, sell it into property, and like it sort of was this huge thing that went on for years, and the police hunt for it went on for years, and like not everybody was caught, and it's got such a good cast. It's just got a really good cast who are great. And I'm playing, so all the people in it are real. And I'm playing a woman called Marnie Palmer, who is real. And her husband smelted the gold down from the robbery in his back garden. And they're Bristolian. She's Bristolian. Which is fun for me, and it's another great wig again, and it's
80s.
like, yeah, it's like proper, like I'm like a bit like that's my accent really, so quite fun. I got like a big wig. She's like quite direct. It's great. Like the script is great. It's written by a guy called Neil Forsyth, who is brilliant. The directors are great. The guy playing my husband is great. And I'm just like one storyline out of lots of different storylines again. And they've got like Dominic Cooper's in it, and Hugh Bonneville's in it, and Jack Lowden's in it, and Sean Harris, and Charlotte Spencer, like loads of really cool people that I don't actually get to work with because I'm not in any scenes with them. But I think it will be really good, and I'm really enjoying it so far.
And is that filming? Are you guys shooting that right now?
Yeah, so I've done a bit of it so far. It's quite like bits and bobs here and there. So yeah, I've got a couple of weeks of it coming up, and then I've got like, and then I don't know, and then I'm on it till like June, July, which will be really fun. But yeah, it's good.
So is it going to come out, I guess, next year, 2023?
I guess so. You never know. I've never had any idea. And sometimes you've done it and then like 3 months later it's out. Like The Last Kingdom, I never know when it's going to come out. And then it's like, oh, it's out now. Okay.
The WhatsApp messages group goes bit nuts and everyone, it's out.
It's out. Yeah. I mean, people know. People do get a bit of warning. But yeah, you never really know. But yeah, the gold, it's going to be really exciting. That's really fun. Yeah, it's really fun.
Sounds like a really good show.
See it over here.
I would want to see. Huh?
So hopefully we can see it over here.
Yeah, you will be able to. I'm not sure how. Like, there's so many.
There's like a BBC app or something like.
Also, like streaming, I'm sure it'll go on to like. You never know where they go on to different places across the pond, don't they? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, sounds like a really good show though.
Yeah, it is. And there's I'd had like I think like an 8-month gap between The Last Kingdom and this, which actually was great because I was away doing The Last Kingdom for such a long time, and in COVID, and it was very intense. So I was really happy to come back and just sort of like see my friends and family and spend time with everyone again. But yeah, so it's nice to get my teeth stuck back into something again.
So at the end of every podcast, you always like to ask for one piece of advice you would give someone in this industry and 3 words that describe your career path so far. And the words can be like individual words or just like a little phrase. It's up to you.
Oh yeah, I see. I like it. Advice I would give to someone. I mean, quite a lot of stuff. I'd just be like have a life as well. Like have some other things that make you happy. Try and find the other things that make you happy. So it's sort of like it's so unreliable that you kind of need to like have other stuff going on because then you'll be all right. You know, whether you're working, whether you're not working. I think. Also, go on holiday. Don't worry about not having money and not having a job. Just go on holiday anyway, I think. Because I never go on holiday because I get nervous about running out of money or not, or like something coming up or needing to be around. But actually, like the way the world is, you can sort of do whatever you want and then figure it out, I think. Have fun, basically. Enjoy your life. And I would say my career has been fun, intermittent, and like quite wig heavy.
Wig heavy.
Wigs, I think. I know that's 2 words.
We'll take that. I like that one.
Well, we appreciate your time so much, and thank you for coming on. You have been a delight, and I cannot wait to meet you in person with our 90th year and our tequila in May.
Great. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm really excited, especially now I've met you all properly.
Yeah, I know. It's always great.